into another episode of, well, that's suspicious. As you can see, I'm Rob, your host, your official YouTube vibe guru. I've been dubbed by the Joe Rogan old gods as the vibe guru to take charge. We are on the long watch now, folks. The long watch, because not everybody can live forever. So we have taken our stand at the King of the North's wall, and we're on the long watch, waiting for the vampire bite on the hand to disintegrate the demon back to dust. But on that long watch, we have to continue our episodes of, well, that's suspicious. As you can tell, I have my AI detecting, deep fake detecting glasses on, and we're going to go through some meme news this morning. Where are you? What are you doing? Post it in the comments. Tell me now. I need to take all this data in like I'm an AI chatbot so I can regurgitate it later at a different point. So feed me data. I would imagine that's what Mark Zuckerberg wakes up and says. He gets up and old Kathy Chan, whatever her name is, she's like, honey, what do you want to eat? And he's like, feed me data. And they just took a Frankenstein type tube from the Facebook data center right into his cortex, and he just slurps up your data all morning, and he goes, that's what I want. Back when I was dropping out of Harvard and I created the face space to rate girls that would never even talk to me, this is what I envisioned. Drinking, slurping their data. So welcome. This is an episode of, well, that's suspicious. If you've never seen my eyes before, unfortunately, they're always like that. I'm sorry. That's what happens when you watch too much of the Jogram. If you watch the comedy Spaceship and all its unfunniness and the jokes that they just regurgitate between, I think, it's weird because Jogram, he's like the head honcho. He's the gatekeeper of comedy now, and I don't know what you have to do to get in. You have to take an ice bath with him. I believe you have to take one ice bath with Joe Graham to get into the comedy mamaship. And then he says, you are anointed. He does a whole ceremony, like the Skull and Bones, George W. Bush, or George H.W. Bush. I don't remember which Bush was a Skull and Boneser. But they had a thing where you had to pick a cherry up with your butt, chase Al Gore around or something. You had to scare Al Gore. You had to do a jump scare on Al Gore with holding a cherry in your butt cheeks. That was the old Skull and Bones initiation rites. And I'm not sure what the Jogram, the Roganites who worship the old gods still, I'm not sure what their initiation rites are, but I imagine it involves an ice bath, an elk heart, the heart of one elk. It's modern day witchcraft, folks. Something's in my eye. Stop doing that. George Jr., Skull and Bones, thank you for the info. Libra 61 star. Where are you guys calling in from? First time, long time? It's good to have you here. But why don't I set the setting? Let me set the scene. Because I want you to envision. This is Brendan Schwab. This is Bert. No, where's Bert? He's going to have a beer in his hand. Bert Krishner. Harry Krishner. That's Joe Graham. And they all meet out in the woods, deep in the woods, nude, covered in elk hides. And they go, this is the new initiation rites. We are now anointing a new comic. And they deep in the heart of Austin. This is what you'll see if you go deep into the woods. You'll see Joe, the comedy god, the gatekeeper of all comedic comedies. The one who anoints the comics, the Joe Graham. You've heard of him. He has $200 million. Two, not one, two. While those stupid artists, silly artists making songs, here's your pennies. We pay Joe. Because now wait a minute, hold on. Put on the conspiracy goggles. Guys, somebody Google for me right now. Spotify CEO is named Daniel Elk, correct? Joe Rogan, favorite food, elk. Correct? He's going to get that elk disease where you eat too much elk and then you turn into one. Anybody in the comments? Good morning. Rogan ain't funny. You're right. 100%. That's why I'm mocking him. But thank you. Welcome to another episode of, well, that's suspicious. Kevin Hawthorne, good to see you. Kim Patterson just landed an SNL gig. Jimmy, you act like you know her. Do we know Kim Patterson? Good for you, Kimmy. I remember little Kimmy when she was just going to middle school. We all bullied her. Now look at her on SNL. She made it to the big times. Good for her. I remember seeing her down at the fair, going on the Gravitron, eating them deep fried Oreos. Now she's all cleaned up. She used to have the acne. I don't know. That's cool. Yeah, I know they redid the cast. I think, Donald Trump ordered Lorne Michaels. He said, Lorne, as the king, you got to redo the cast. The weirdest part is Kenan Thompson still on there? Maybe he has blackmail on Lorne and he's just on the payroll. And from every now and then, then, I believe that's the actual saying. People get it wrong, but it's now, then, then. So you've been saying it wrong your whole life. Not my fault. Your parents didn't teach you better. But now, then, the appropriate, that's how Will Shakespeare, when he wrote that down, he said, Jesus, people are going to murder this saying worse than they did Hamlet or Et tu, Brute? But it's actually now, then, then. So go correct people, okay? Cam Black, comic from Kill Tony. Oh, Jesus, they're putting Kill Tony people. Kill Tony is, I'm proud that we see another lesbian making it that high in Hollywood. We haven't seen the likes of that since Ellen DeGeneres, but that lady is just not funny. I'm sorry. Kill Tony is, she is just cruel. Really, there's no comedic timing.
It's just kind of a whiny thing where he almost is Gilbert Godfrey without the comedy.
That's my Kill Tony. Take it home with you. Keep it. Wrap it up. Give it to somebody under the Christmas tree this year. Jesus, what do you want me to do? All right? I'm just here to entertain you folks. And this is an episode of, well, that's suspicious. We're going to get back to Joe Rogan and how he anoints these people, like the great lesbian comic Kill Tony. I thought it was Kilt Oni. Remember Coney, NY? Remember that a long time ago? That was a protest. There was something going on. Ellen's daughter has a serious chip on their shoulder. Well, she could probably get it removed. I know the poor people's healthcare isn't that good, but if you got like a thing on your shoulder, it's probably an old wart. Haters are going to hate. You're right, Heidi. And if they don't like this showgram, then go back to Ben Shapiro for his hypothetical political situations. Thank you, Heidi. People are going to hate. And you know what? I just do my thing. That's inspiring, Heidi. I didn't expect it from you, a troll account. But you've made me inspired when you said, hey, Rob, listen. The haters are going to hate. You keep doing your thing, man. You go, girl. I love when people say you go, girl to me. It inspires me. It fires me up. Makes me think of Zach Galifianakis and that brilliant joke he did at the Purple Onion. My God. Anyways, Joe Graham, the Joe Roganites who still worship the old comedy gods, even though they're immune to the what the comedy gods said about them, because George Carlin was right, and he would be ashamed of Joe Graham. I don't know what he does to anoint people. I would imagine it's kind of a ceremony like this. And when he says, today we initiate Kilt Oni into the comedy guru god legend room. They probably do something weird. They're like, you got to pick up an elk heart with your butt and you got to chase around Carlos Mencia 3 times around the fire, and then you're officially in. I believe that's what it is. So glad to have everybody here. Sorry I didn't do a proper intro. I know YouTube, the AI monitors all want you to log in and go, hey guys, what's going on? Hey guys. That's the law. If you don't do that, you don't get into the algorithm. If you don't say subscribe, nobody will. 126% of you are watching unsubscribed, which should be illegal. Should be. It's free. This isn't like, what am I, the Daily Beast? What am I showing you, pop-up ads? And then all of a sudden saying, hey, this information is not going to pay for itself. You got to give me some money if you want to keep reading the rest of this article. Nobody likes a dummy. Nobody likes a first paragraph know-it-all. And I am that. I'm the first paragraph know-it-all. I see the paywall and I say, do I really need to know what else happened? I don't think so. Nope. So we already discussed, this is a loose interpretation of how Joe anoints new comics, loosely based on a story that I told somebody once. And then somebody I've never met painted it. George Carlin was right, folks. George Carlin was right. Oh, let's go through some meme news, and then we'll get to, well, that's suspicious. I can't wait to get to, well, that's suspicious. Well, that's suspicious. Here's today's episode of Well, That's Suspicious. It's wrapped up in one quick image. It's all the news you need for today. You go like this. I know some of you are sitting there on the beach going, whoa, ay, 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 ay. So I appreciate, I know you, you old comics, you old Laurel and Hardy style comics. I know you Three Stooges fans going, ay, 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 ay. That's cool, man. I like that you're doing that. You're keeping it real. Did you know that the Three Stooges, if you watch them when they did the wink, they hit them right here every time. I was watching old clips. I said, holy shit, every time, right above the eyes. That's brilliant. Good aim, too, because I would have been, dabbing dudes in the eye on accident. Boink. So, yeah, this is today's episode. Well, that's suspicious. Well, that's suspicious. Who's this in the back? Is that Dean Cain? Or Jason Aldean? Is that one of the Dean brothers? Dean Cain or Jason Aldean? It's gotta be. He cares about crime, right? I love all these people. They're like, we're gonna be tough on crime. All right, let's send the military to go get the Epstein files then. You wanna be tough on crime? Isn't that what they do? Send it to DC, send it to LA, send it to Chicago, send it to Massachusetts. Well, why don't we go send the National Guard to find the Epstein files? That's the only tough on crime I want to see. That's the only. Don't be suspicious. Emanon says. That's weird. Emanon is the thing, and you got Clippy for your profile. That's cool. Clippy's old. That's old school. No. I remember when he was new school and he kept popping up everywhere. I was like, how do you kill this little robot? That was the original AI, Clippy, in Emanon's handle photo, avatar. I was thinking your name spelled backwards is non-amy, which that's what Joe Rogan recites. He says, Emanon nominee, and then he summons the 7 comedy gods from the 6th circle of hell. And he says, now, Emanon nominee. And then he anoints a new comic. It happens once every 4 years. Sometimes every month, though. It just depends. Love the old G Clippy. Love him. Mark Maron in the chat. You know the answer. I know the answer, Mark Maron. I love your podcast, W2F. I like your TV show better, Mark Maron. It's good to have you here. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Mark Maron's in the chat. I'm just assuming because you spell it with the C. And there can't be, most people spell it with a K, so that's got to be Mark Maron. Love you so much. Love your TV show. It was better. Do another season, okay? Mark Maron, thank you for taking my personal thing. Puffle, hold on, I got to read this name. Pufflepagus. All right, look different than it sounds. It's almost as if they're in it for the grift, not for the truth. Almost. Well, that's suspicious. Where's Mike Cernovich? Me and him had a Twitter thing a long time ago, and I said, what a tough guy, sending, not you coming after me, but sending your 100,000 followers after me. I got 6,000 on Twitter. It's like, this is real tough. I don't send an army. I'll come straight for you. But he was somewhere in this. Maybe he's hiding. Maybe He's like Back to the Future picture, and he's fading away in the background because he's so scared that, you know, now that we're gonna get the files, all these clowns are like, where were they? Why? I saw Horse Legs herself. If you don't know, we have a trans animal among us in Congress, and she got two of a horse's back legs donated to her. She has the strongest kick of any two-legged being, bipedal. She has the strongest kick of any bipedal creature on this earth. Marjorie Taylor Mary Moore Greene. Is she related to Al Green? Probably not. Well, we never know. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, who had bottom half horse surgery, I think. I don't know. Again, all these news articles are freaking gate kept. They all want you to subscribe. I'm like, why do you have pop-up ads and banner ads? Why do I have to pay? I can't even read the article. You block me out. Jeez. I thought Jeff Bezos said democracy dies in darkness. Marjorie failure scene. Like it. The outlaw feminist. Behold the Inflexibles. That is a cool ass name, the outlaw feminist. Everybody can be a feminist, by the way. You, me, I am one. And it's cool to be a feminist. If you're not, you're probably a beta cuck alpha soy. No, soy's cool. I like soy. You're probably a fascist. That's what it is. So be a feminist, kids. Grow up and be a feminist. You don't even have to grow up. You can just do it now. Don't be insulting Al Green that way. I did not, Kelly Quinn. I did not mean to insult the great legacy of Al. My apologies. I apologize right away. Take it back, they said. And I said, I can't take it back. Bleep, 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 bleep. Is a bald Harry and the Hendersons. Okay. Ivanon has he has his profile and referenced the TV show Harry and the Hendersons. My kind of commenter. I like it. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Rob, and normally I do a daily live stream where I put on my deep fake glasses and I detect all the deep fakes. Beep 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 beep. And today we're doing an episode of that's suspicious. That's suspicious. I was just trying to be funny. I get your humor. I think you're hilarious. Especially because you were just trying to be funny, and I knew that. And I was trying to be funny by seriously apologizing. I like that that's the kind of humor you have in Massachusetts, where you're really serious and mean, but you're doing it in jest. So people not from Massachusetts are like, wow, that guy is an asshole. And you're like, I was kidding the whole time. You think I really wanted you to bend down and kiss my knee? Shut up. Get out of here. Get out of here, you tough guy. You tough guy, hardo. That's what they call him in Massachusetts. Take that home. Take that to your small town and share it around. Could they call tough guys hardos here in Massachusetts? And everybody's a hardo, and everybody thinks they're better than you. If Portland was a person, and he is Tom from MySpace. God bless Tom. Tom is doing God's work back in the day, and then Mark Zuckerberg probably threatened him, you know, with his eyes. Didn't have to say anything. Zuck said, I see you. You're going to get in the way of me doing that surfing thing that's not really surfing, that he like sails on top of the water. Probably because he's allergic to water. I would imagine, why wouldn't you just surf, you know? You guys all see when Mark Zuckerberg had his mom put on all the sunblock on his face. She was like, don't go outside without your sunblock. He's like, all right, Mom. Isn't that funny? Mr. Beast still has his mom run his company. Holy shit. That's a real thing. His mom runs his company. He's like said it like it's like a point of pride. He's like, I don't even have a bank account. My mom runs all that. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't be entrusted with millions of dollars in subscribers if you can't run your own bank account. You old Pringle Dingle. All right, Nolan Robinson, you are spamming the chat, so I'm gonna warn you now that I'm going to. Okay. So Nolan, I'm going to ban you for 24 hours. I'm going to give you a little timeout because your brain is broken. Your brain broke. And I don't think your sister really gave birth, and that, you said it came out black, so should I not love her again? And I would say, here's your issue. I need you to pay attention, Nolan, okay? Because I can't have you walking around Earth with everybody else. You're a racist piece of shit, and you should rethink your life choices and the things you type and the things you say. You understand? We're going to take a break from the comedy, and I'm going to specifically address you. There's not enough people in your life, Nolan, that tell you you are a piece of shit. You are redeemable, okay? Don't get me wrong. Everybody's redeemable. Nolan, you too. But you keep talking with that mouth, and somebody's going to slap you. You understand me? Because your mother, obviously, and if I was your sister, man, oof, fuck. I heard you talking like that. I don't think, I would send you to the Joe Rogan sphere and say, you belong over there. And that's an eternal punishment. Once you go there, there's no coming back. There's no redemption arc for those that venture into the 9th layer of Hell Austin. Okay? And you have to eat elk meat for the rest of your life. So it's not fun. It's not. I know you might think it looks cool because he has millions of dollars, but are you really having fun if you have millions of dollars and you're constantly attacking the vulnerable people? Like, are you really enjoying life if you have all the money in the world? You won capitalism and you're like, yeah, but there's some books with like a gay person. I don't know if I could sleep at night. Go buy a jet ski. Jesus Christ. Look, even Mark Zuckerberg was like, I got to try to get on the ocean because, I have so many insecurities. Let me get out into the water, clear my mind, but not let my nose get a drop of sunlight. I'm going to see if some of you guys are deep fakes. Some of you guys might be deep fakes. These are my deep fake glasses, so I can tell. All right. Yep. Slow Rogan. Ooh, that's a good one, Catherine Alexander. Thank you. So the old slowgram. Oh, you pissed off the Nazis, Rob. I know. I do that. But I also take much joy in who my enemies are. So we beat you once in World War II. We'll beat you again, you losers. Don't make me go get my grandfather out of the grave and beat you with his bones, you asshole. Libertarian. There's someone who's bragging about being a libertarian and they're not Peter Thiel. Oh, what a loser. Oh my God, go and change your handle. God, these people are so dumb. Hi, I'm from Midwestern America. I rent a home and work for somebody, but yeah, I'm a libertarian. I'd like the government not to bug Peter Thiel while Palantir monitors my life. Oh, you suck. You suck. Libertarians. If you're not Peter Thiel, you're not a libertarian, okay? Jesus. How many times do I got to teach these people? Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me go back. Jesus Christ. It was a deep fake. He got me, guys. These are my deep fake glasses. As soon as I throw them on, I can tell exactly who's a deep fake. And it turns out the guy with the libertarian handle is a deep fake. You wish you could get a pair of these. I found him. Luckiest find in the world. Wow, this dude is nuts. Yup, hold on. Oh, shit. Libertarian red-pilled. If you guys see him in your live streams, he's a deep fake. Absolute deep fake. And you just know, because libertarian in the handle, in a comment section on YouTube, if you're a libertarian, you're hosting a live stream, okay? And it's called, like, All In. And it's a bunch of billionaires being like, this fucking government keeps trying to regulate us when we try to exploit our workers. And we got to get rid of it. They want, like, clean water. We need that water for our data centers. It needs to cool our data centers. And these freaking people keep trying to drink it. And the government's, like, letting them. Gross. And then you got people that are like, yeah, I'm that. I'm totally that. You are so fun. I love meeting these deep fake libertarians. By the way, welcome. I'm Rob. I saw Crash sneak in. Crash, don't think you could sneak in and not have me notice you. Crash, a highly admired member of the community here. Today we're doing a special episode. This is like when you got home from school and they said today on the public service announcement, it's a very special episode. Shannon Doherty from 90210 goes to Epstein Manor. Very special episode of 90210. I'll never forget. Never forget. But that's what this is today, okay? This is called the, well, that's suspicious. Yesterday on the live stream, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm here to entertain your minds. We joke about the news because the news is a joke, people. It's a joke. Like, people really, like, look at this guy. Wasn't he in Modern Family? That's Jesse Ferguson. What is he doing? What happened to these people? I don't know. I got bad eyes. Oh, shit. It was a deep fake. That's not Jesse Ferguson. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I don't know who that turd burglar is, but look at him. Look at him, how proud he is. I got an empty binder that says Epstein files. Look at me. We're going to bust Bill Clinton. Well, yesterday, the Republicans and the Democrats were coming together. You saw old horse legs herself, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You see Nancy Mace, old Nancy Mace face, because you want to mace your face after you see her and hear her talk. These people are coming together to release the files. And where are these frauds? Well, that's suspicious. Remember that old SNL skit with Chris Farley? God bless him. Miss Chris. And Adam Sandler. And you go, well, that's special. God, those are the good old days. Let me check the chat. I'm going to check. Oh, yeah, look at all these bots. I got my deepfake glasses, folks. If you don't know, these are deepfake glasses. I can detect who's deepfake. And they say MAGA. Totally deepfake. Crashes make America gay again. Yeah. You know, that's, oh, speaking of the news, let's meme the news. Look at this. You better thank the gay community because Florida is, deathly afraid of rainbows. So they're painting over and redoing all the rainbows that were in homage to the people who we lost at the nightclub. And those are our neighbors. They're all, Jesus told you, love your neighbor. Everyone's your neighbor. So, my heart goes out to all of them. And they had painted the crosswalks rainbow to celebrate their life still, to live, let their legacy live on. So Florida's, real touchy. Listen, if you pretend to be a tough guy, but you see a rainbow on the ground, you're like, I got to paint that over. Stop everything, paint it over. I'm not walking on a rainbow. I mean, unless you thought it was disrespectful to the rainbow to walk on it, but I don't think that was their thing. What they're doing in Florida now is they're painting all the potholes with rainbows. So you better thank the gay community for getting rid of all the potholes, Florida. Okay? You better say have you even said thank you? This is a brilliant move, and I'm memeing the news for you. Let's meme a little more news. Oh, here, because some people, I know they were deep fakes, but, they say MAGA and stuff. I saw this, and I thought, that's right, we are not the same. Because I know George Carlin was right. It's a big club, and I ain't in it. What does this say? Let's read this. Oh, this is why I say Democrats ain't the ones either, man. Use these politicians as useful idiots. They've been using you for a long time. They're telling you, just vote for me, and I promise, things will get better. Wrong. Didn't work. Got worse. You think you vote for all Democrats, you're going to get universal health care? No, not going to happen. We need to get real people in there, and we need to take the power back, as Zach De La Rocha once said. Right to work. Don't be confused, people. Right to work is not good for you. You know how I know? Look at right to work states. We could just call them red states. They're making $20.66, and this is 2014 dollars. In not right to work states like Massachusetts, we're making much more. In fact, the corporations use that tricky language to make you think, oh, it's my right. No. If the corporations put it into effect and they support it, guess what? It does not align with your beliefs. And in once they pass a right to work law, the 3.1% workers' pay drops on average when right to work laws are passed. So Know your words, okay? Ooh, this study. Everybody who thinks these two fart hounds are, trying to do something good for America, they're not. And they're hiding a study. They're hiding a study. Oh, we got stupid people in here that don't understand that when you're in a union, you get paid more. When you guys talk about the good old days, but you're just talking about racism and sexism, there's another part of that made them good and old. The old part is because it happened a long time ago. The good part was because there were unions. Most of America believed in unions, and just talk to an old person. Same with like this guy. I don't understand how this old heroin addict got into the position he's in, but like he should just, well, most of his family probably isn't around to talk to him, but you just ask like an old person, what was polio like? And ask their take on a vaccine, you morons. For those who don't know, this is some of the stuff I believe in. For those simps. Except this one down here, the federal minimum wage thing, 20 an hour. That's fucking 2019. No, that's like 2009 talk. We're talking $66 an hour now. And for all you fascists that are going to freak out, I got to drink your tears out of a mug, because that's what you guys did with liberals. We got to mock you in your own way. That's the only language you speak. You see me drinking a mug that says fascist tears, and you're like, holy shit, this is really waking me up. Bunch of dummies. But RFK and Trump's regime, not only are they hiding the Epstein files, but they're hiding a study. Hold on, where was it? Alcohol intake and health study commissioned in 2022 by Joe Brandon. They were informed last month that the Trump regime did not intend to publish the final draft of the study or its finding, because, it linked consumption of alcohol with cancer. And now they're working. When you see like the opioid industry, that's not good. But the good thing is drinking. Gallup recorded a historic low in the percentage of U.S. adults who drink, 54%, down from 67%. So good on you. And if you're trying to quit, listen, I'm clean. And let me say there's hope. I know in America, they make it an absolute nightmare to try to get a bed, try to get into a rehab, try to do this, but there's hope for you, and reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, go to a meeting, do something. For those who just missed it, I was talking about how Joe Rogan anoints the next comic. And I imagine it looks like, this probably looks like the backwoods of Austin on a night where they've killed the king elk. They've hunted it down to drink its liver in a smoothie with the brain pills. And then they're anointing the new Tom Segura. They're like, do you despise poor people? Is your comedy mediocre? We give you a special. You are an opener. You go right to main stage. That's how they do it. We need to take action, dude. This yapping is part of the problem. The yapping is never part of a problem, Falcon Man. Do you have Clippy? What is everybody with Clippy in their avatar? You're the second person with Clippy. Emanon has Clippy in avatar. But if you believe yapping is probably the problem, you're not paying attention. So let me go back. A long time ago, Jesus created the dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs were lonely. Jesus said, let me take my ribs and make them into a man and his friend. They were just friends. And then humans developed this thing called language. It was vital. Some say it's what separated us from the dinosaur reptile chickens. Some say. And communication was so vital that there's a guy who now is king because he can't be held accountable for anything he does in America, which we used to not like kings. I don't know. America's really got an identity crisis on its hands. But Falcon Man, communication is one of those important things where this guy that tricked people into voting for him, all he did was use words. That's it. He didn't lower egg price. He didn't give you a healthcare plan. He said, I have concepts of one. And people were like, good enough for me. And then the concept turned out to be like, what if we kicked everybody off their healthcare and made it more expensive? Like, he just used words. He's literally done nothing. And people were like, hooray! So I would object to you saying, yapping is the problem. Because I would say some of these people just like a guy who can yap real good, Like, if you can go, I'll lower egg prices on day one, and day one comes and you go, I got nothing to fucking do with that. What are you talking about? Shut up. I would say it's it's a pretty epic thing us humans do. But good try. Try again. Come back with another comment. Try again. Thank you. Try again. Somebody's talking about pronouns. Listen, if pronouns get you upset, let me just tell you something. You ain't an alpha. Okay? If you're concentrated on pronouns, and at the same time, upset about words, you ain't a lover of freedom. Let me just tell you, you got some waking up to do. If you're like, the saying the pronouns has upset me. Now, did you see this in today's episode of, well, that's suspicious. Leading report says, breaking, any Republican who signed Rep. Tom Massey, who was out with the Epstein survivors yesterday during their press conference, which Trump used our tax dollars to do F-16 flyovers. Yeah, that's what you want your tax dollars on, right? When you go, who's going to pay for it? I didn't hear you going, who's paying for that flyover right now? But Thomas Massey was out there saying we need all the files released. And Donald Trump heard that, and he said, PH files? No, he's not that smart. I'm just kidding. He can't get that joke. He does not get, like, the PH files or the F files. But he really did put Ghislaine Maxwell in a lower security prison. So I'm not even going to do that joke. It's over his head. But this from the White House says, anybody who signs Tom Massey's discharge petition on the Epstein files will be seen as committing a hostile act against the Trump administration, per White House. It's really the Gold House now. Well, that's suspicious. Oh, hold on. Somebody timed me out. What mods are in here? Oh, Timothy. Timothy! You timed out Crash. Crash is a good friend of the show. If he said, see, I didn't see what he said. But Tim, just so you know, because you haven't been here in a while, he's not a Trump supporter. He's a satirist. I know, God, I've been saying this since like 2002. We need a satirical font. We really do. But so Timothy, sorry about that, Crash. My apologies. We can't undo it. I don't think there's a way to undo it. But my apologies. I think just remember, the chat sometimes goes fast and my mods are working hard to weed out. So sometimes the satire gets lost in that's so crazy that so many people are really that serious about how maniacal they are in support of a clear fascist authoritarian dictator, that the satire gets lost among it. So sorry about that, Crash. Vermin Supreme, yes. Using the word gay in a negative way. Oh, yeah, 100%. So Timothy is right. So Crash, I didn't see the comment, but yeah, don't be using it in a negative way. We stayed it clear. Yeah, go ahead, test the limits. Go see how, Timothy will boot you the fuck out of here. I got no problem with that. Yeah, get Team America out of here, because you're not Team America. You don't believe in freedom if you don't support people's freedom to be who they are. You fucking dummies. Which font would be used as sarcastic fart? Thank you, Looney. Not fart, font. I don't know. That's why I think we need to develop a new one. Just wait, Once I get enough money, I'm going to spend all my money developing the perfect sarcastic font. It's called, what's a good font name? Sarcasms? Sarcams? What is that, Times New sarcasm? So, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Sorry about that, Crash. We'll get it fixed. We'll get it on the back end and we'll get it fixed for you. It should be good up and running tomorrow. That's a bummer too, because Crash always has the fire comments. Kelly Quinn, you just have to let them know that they haven't been the Truth Social lately. Their leader doesn't want them to write certain things. If you're going to be in a cult, do it right. That is true. Some of them are working hard to be in a cult. And I'm telling you, you have to hit subscribe. You have to hit the notification bell, or the YouTube gods will not let you into YouTube heaven. That's not the rules I made. I read it on a blog somebody wrote that I advised and funded. But yeah, so why in today's episode of oh, that's suspicious. Why would the Trump regime see anybody trying to put the Epstein files out as a hostile act? Any MAGAs want to answer? Why is it a hostile act to do the thing he said he would do and release the files? My immediate thing, okay, and I just want you to, let's do it as like one of those math equations where they use words that like Alabama banned or Oklahoma banned. They're like, you're not going to be using the words in the maths. But let's put in like an equation like that, okay? And if you had a friend who was like, I have a photo of me and the celebrity, and you were like, oh, awesome, let me see the photo. And they were like, no. And you were like, well, I'll just go inside your house and get the photo. And you were like, and the friend said to you, I'll consider that a hostile act if you try and go get that photo of me and The Rock doing a chicken jockey together. That's the photo. Okay, sorry. I didn't give you that. I don't know if you'd be able to solve this if I don't give you what the photo is. The photo is your friend and The Rock doing a chicken jockey, where your friend is the chicken and The Rock is the jockey. And he claims he has it. He's like, I have it. I'm going to release this photo of me and my friend doing a chicken jockey, me and The Rock doing a chicken jockey. And you're like, oh, cool. Release it. And he's like, no. You got to elect me to be the king, and then I'll release it. And he's like, all right, I elected you. And he's like, no, I can't do that. And then you hear that he has like his family members like redacting the photo, like crossing out The Rock being the jockey. And you're like, this is really suspect. And you're like, I'm just going to go inside and get that photo of you and The Rock doing chicken jockey in a photo because you said you had it. And he was like, if you do that, it's a hostile act. I'll consider it an act of war. What would you think? I'd be like, well, what is he hiding? You know? What is he hiding? Is it not him and The Rock? Is it him and Ellen DeGeneres? Why are you hiding that? Is it you and Kill Tony? Because then I understand why you'd want to hide it. But immediately you would think something suspicious, like you're hiding something. And it's just weird. In today's episode of, well, that's suspicious, we're wondering why. We're just asking questions, folks. Remember when everybody liked Joe Graham, the slow Rogan, the Mind Mencia, whatever he's calling his thing now? Because, you know, when you start stealing Brendan Schwab jokes and then regurgitating 6-year-old jokes, which he did on his special, and I checked, these are my deepfake glasses, and I said, nope, it wasn't a deepfake. That was Joe Rogan, all 5'1" of them. When you start doing that, I don't know, a little suspect. Here's another thing I want you to understand about the people who say, I just wish they would protest properly. One reason people insist that you use the proper channels to change things is because they have control of the proper channels and they're confident it won't work. This is what I said about the Democrats. For all you people who, elected Donald Trump and then are like, what about Joe Biden? Stop living in the past, man. We need you to, get up to today in the year of our Lord 2025. Stop doing that, number one. But number two, this is why I say, if we elect all Democrats, we're not getting universal health care. We need to elect radical leftists across the board. We need to just overrun these people with their dumb status quo. Like, hey, don't you just like being denied by AI after your doctor said you need a surgery? Like, come on, you don't like that? Really? Oh, if you love England and Europe so much, why don't you move there? Let us just rich people have this place where we have a doctor's wing in our house. So we need like Graham Plattner, You don't mess with the Zohan. We need these people who are going to get in there and actually be like, fuck these rich people. Let's hold them accountable. All right? Oh, look at this is an interesting one. We're memeing the news. Patriot takes that there's a security breach at Trump's Detroit Turning Point USA event. Everyone had to leave and go back through the metal detectors, rewinded. And Midas Touch says, we're confused. Wouldn't the G word make it more safer? Well, that's suspicious. This is a great episode of Well, That's Suspicious. Oh, here's something about the Epstein survivors speaking yesterday. Where again, this is how we started off. The Epstein survivors spoke yesterday, and well, that's suspicious. Well, that's suspicious. Well, that's suspicious. Where was Mike Cernovich and, dollar store Jesse Ferguson from Modern Family? Where were these people? Where were they? Because they were so excited to get the files. They even came out with empty binders doing a photo op spent by your tax-paying money. Where were they? Or do they not want the files anymore? Well, that's suspicious. But Virginia Gouffre's brother said, these are your politicians, your bankers, the wealthy and powerful. It shouldn't be up to the survivors to release the list. It's time for the government to protect the people, not the rich men financing this cover-up. I agree. Oop. That's a news story we're going to talk about on another day for all you maggots. Well, that's suspicious. Maybe the photo shoot's scheduled for today, folks. Maybe dollar store Jesse Ferguson, this turd, Jason Aldean or Dean Cain. I can't tell who that is back there. Well, maybe they're all going to come out today, be like, we support the files. Or did their chicken supreme taco in chief, Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, tell him, quit it, like he did Joe Rogan, Joe Graham. And he said, Joe, I'm going to need you to stop. And Joe's like, yes, sir. I will just have on government employees and your banking friends, and we will just talk about how America is really regulating these billionaires to not become trillionaires, Like, will you think of the billionaires who just want to be trillionaires for a second, MAGA? Seriously. And the libertarians who aren't Peter Thiel. So you're a deep fake. You're not a real libertarian. In Palantir, Zankos, $2 with a little, is that a wolf or is that a hibachi dog? Thank you for the super chat. Zankos. Sounds like a new candy you can get at the drugstore. Now, in mint flavor, Zankos. You could buy it only at the Walgreens that did not close down because private equity bought the rest of them. Zankos, the official sponsor of collapsing imperialism. Oh, Randy's back. If you weren't here yesterday, Just a Guy's here. What's up, Just a Guy? Randy was here yesterday. He's a big maggot, but he comes in because, he needs to be told the truth. Randy, well, that's suspicious. He's a big MAGA guy. And yesterday I pointed out that hit subscribe and notification bell. I said, it's really weird, man, Randy, how often you're either infinitely on the internet and you think the internet is real life, like Joe Rogan, like the Rogan. We got to find a better name for him. The Joe. The comedy czar. Elephant Graveyard did that. The Joe Graham is infinitely online. So when he sees those, the poor safaris, the poverty safaris that people do online, he thinks that's like all of America. He's like, thank God I have my $1 billion bunker in Austin. I can just hunt all the elk I want. So I even thought Randy was either constantly online and just happened to always get in my live streams, or he's desperately in here trying to get woken up. He's trying to become woke, folks. And some of you used to be woke too. You just didn't realize it because you thought woke meant everything I don't like. So it's good to see you again, Randy. It's good to see you again. I'll tell you that, Randy. Actually, now that I'm saying Randy, are you the Trailer Park Boys Randy who never wore a short? No, he's had the white jeans. Because I love that Randy. He's funny. Toe Bogan. Toe Bogan. That's not fair to Toes. Toes are bigger than him. From what I've heard, I don't know. You go to celebritymeasurements.org, and it says he's 3'8". but you can't just like Joe wants to believe everything on the internet, but I went to celebrity measurements. How tall are they? Edu, and it said he was 3'6", and I said, I can't, Joe. I know you want to believe everything on the internet, but I just can't. I can't believe that you're 3'6". I've met you. We rode an elevator in Vegas together, and I know you're shorter than I am, but I'm not going to believe what celebrity measurements. How tall are they? uk.au.co. I can't believe what that website says. I'm just not going to. I refuse to, Joe. I know you're at least 4'8". You're going to feel like such a fool when the aliens come. What? I'm helping protect the aliens right now. Fuck ICE. This guy has to be one of the most disliked oxygen stealer on the planet. You're right, Joe Rogan is. But he hides the dislikes. You're right, be stoic. Be stoic. Having a little hissy fit in the comments. Here, I'm gonna give you some advice. Be stoic. Wow. Some of these people are, hold on, sorry. Oh, they're deep fakes. Oh shit. Sorry, I got my deep fake glasses. I'm not even using them. Yeah, some of you are just deep fakes. You guys are just absolutely an embarrassment to your parents. You know, your parents went, not mine. Nope. 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 William Carlin is asking, is rooting for immigrants stoic? William Carlin, with a name like that, what tribe are you from, William? Carlin, what native tribe is that? I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. What tribe are you from? You ding dong. Just a chill channel, it seems. Oh, beefy haze. Oh, gross. Sorry. Sometimes I react in real time. This is previously recorded 14 years ago. Randy, I don't have lib friends. I'm not friends with liberals. Don't you know the saying, you scratch a liberal and a fascist bleeds? Those are your friends. I'm the radical left that Joe Rogan and Donald Trump warned you about. It's funny, they'll warn you more about the radical left than they will about Epstein and all his predator friends. You don't hear them being like, hey, you got to be careful all the people Epstein was hanging out with. That is a cabal of some deeply disturbing people. You don't hear him warning about that, but you hear him saying that radical left, they don't want to burn the books. They don't want to remove them, you know? Rally around your family with a pocket full of shells. A lot of you, yeah, deep fakes. Oh, I'm gonna put you in timeout, you fucking dummy. I'm not even gonna read your comment. Trump did Sophie A. Trump wishes Maxwell well. The only person he's wished well in his life, the guy is a notorious shit talker. He's turned the White House into like Jeff Ross's comedy roasting show. We drove around on a Segway, roasting people on the streets, and that's the White House podium now. And then the one person, he's like, Ghislaine, I wish her well. I'm going to be sick. Yes, I wish her well. And then he doubled down. The guy was like, she's in prison for 20 years for trafficking, part of a huge cabal of elites that's destroying our communities. And he's like, I said what I said. I wish her well. You know she's got the dirt. That's what it is. Uh-oh, Booch. Timothy's asking if Booch has been drinking already. We got to go because we got to go to the story. I do have one news story for you. Booch, if you're drinking already, some people do, you know. It's 7 a.m. somewhere. That's what they used to say. 7 a.m. somewhere. Those kids aren't going to drive themselves to school. And, you know, you got to chase the shakes away, as they used to say. Which, listen, I used to have the same problem. I beat it. I submitted it. I Joe Rogan'd it. I Toe Bogan'd it. You know, I took addiction and I said, who's the awful? Who? And addiction went, yeep, 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 and ran off. That's how I won. It was a tough battle. Lasted 100 years. It was the 100 Years' War. But it's very serious, okay? I'm going to try to be a little serious now. And you can too, Booch. You can beat that addiction. Don't do what I did. You're not trained to do what I did, okay? You are not trained. You didn't go through what I went through. But you too can beat addiction. You really just put it off at bay. If Matthew Perry's story has told us anything, it's you just really kind of put it off, you know? Addiction's always like a really muscly tiger doing push-ups outside of your mind, waiting for you to break. Okay? So, Booch, if you're already drinking, let me say, you can get help. Not in RFK's America. He's trying to hide a report on alcohol and cancer, the correlations. He's working with big alcohol. I call him Big Glug Glug. But, Booch, you can get help, okay? I know it's tough as shit as somebody who's done it and tried with many people and lost a lot of friends to different addictions. And the way we have it set up in this country, they do not want you to get better, and they make it very expensive, and there's never a bed. But let me say, there's hope, okay? So reach out, get some help, go to a meeting. Find a meeting. Find a meeting. And let me show you this, because we got a new project that we're working on. Hit subscribe if you want to be part of this project. And then hit the notification bell. I'm Rob, and I go live every single weekday. We believe you can quit. We do. King of Kings. Shouldn't only Jesus have that title? Unless Jesus is in the chat, which, Jesus, if you are, you got to dole out some spankings, you know? There are some people who just need the old Jesus. You don't want Jesus returning and taking off the belt, you know? You don't. You don't. Some people need to meet you, because then they would realize Jesus said, what? Love your neighbor. Who's your neighbor? Everybody. I can't hear you guys. Gotta speak up. I hate when churches do that. And they're like, how's everybody doing? Everyone's like, oh, it's fucking 7 a.m. on Sunday. Shut up. And he's like, I can't hear you. And you're like, oh, God. And then you throw the communion wine because you're like, I can't drink this. Have grape juice. Boosh. I don't even see. There's Boosh. Where's the attack on anyone in the chat? Is that like words being violent? That's how I'm going to read all your comments, Boosh. Okay? That's what everybody thinks you sound like now. William Carlin. You guys think Bernie Sanders is a good guy? LMAO. William Carlin, you should... I revoke that last name. Boosh the douche canoosh. Mama Bear. You can't have a name like Mama Bear and not be a Mama Bear. I'm sorry. My apologies, but if your name is Mama Bear, you a Mama Bear. And most likely I like you. I want Bernie Sanders. I want Zohan. You don't mess with the Zohan. I want Bernie. Because we're going to redo. Guys, remember, I know like you've been propagandized to think we can only do what we've done. But that's not what America wasn't like George Washington and Jesus going, okay, this is how it is and forever will be. There will be no amendments. That means we got something wrong. None of that shit. Okay? Jesus and Washington didn't collaborate on the greatest fucking set in stone Moses's 2 tablets of fucking 10 bills of rights or whatever. That's not how it happened, you dummies. America was a work of art. America's more like a Bob Ross painting, where it's like, there's some happy little mistakes. You know, paint a tree there, fuck it. We're doing a desert oasis, but go ahead, paint a spruce. Whatever, you know? That's what I would like to do. I wish Bob Ross was still here. I'd like to do a desert painting and then do a big evergreen and go, Bob, is this a happy mistake? You told me I couldn't fuck it up, and I'm pretty sure I fucked it up. But America wasn't like, you guys are so propagandized to think like, we just have to have one king and the vice just dance fans and whatever they say goes. And it's like, God damn, you've been so beaten down by your jobs and the TV that you don't even think for yourself. I'm thinking we have like what is it called when they have an open relationship? Anti-monogamous? Polygamy? I'm pretty sure we're going to do hogamy. Hogogamy. We're going to be hog. No, we're not going to. The hogs are the hogs, okay? We're not going to be like the swine. But we're going to do like a polyamorous president thing. Where it's like Bernie Sanders is the first prime minister. Graham Plattner is like, because Bernie's kind of old. And I said, after 55, you can't be in politics. You go fucking right off into the sunset. Some of you might be going to Epstein Island and, just go. Get the fuck out of here. But we're going to do a new thing. We're going to do like Parliament Funkadelic. So it's going to be old guy who has the wisdom, Bernie. Young guy, Graham Plattner. And then Zoran, don't mess with the Zohan. He's going to be the holy trinity of it all. So that's like how I'm envisioning America. I know you're not as creative as I am. So, it's hard for you to wrap. You're like, new ideas. It's going to break my brain. I know it's tough for you to see the fucking vision I have. But when we have a triumphant, means three, triceratops. When we have a triumphant parliament in the, in leadership, then they have to always do a Rochambeau. They always have to do rock, paper, scissors. If there's any disputes and like Graham and Zohan are like, Bernie, you're old, you don't get it. We have to do this. They have to Rochambeau. Rock, paper, scissors every single time. Or thumb war. It depends. It depends what it is. If they got to get it through Senate, it's a thumb war. House, they have to do rock, paper, scissors. So that's what I'm seeing. Again, I didn't ask for this gift. Jesus made me a fucking, an empath, like you guys keep blaming me for shit. And it's like, I'm not, I'm not going to apologize for my gift of foresight. Jesus ordained me with this fucking gift of prophecy. You guys go to the churches where they're holding rattlesnakes and babbling out their ass and you don't believe in me. I saw a tri-presidency, a polygamous. I saw what the Mormons tried to call religion as leadership in this country, And if you believe that Mormons are a real thing, then Jesus Christ, lay off, okay? We're going to have a three-way presidency with Graham Plattner, the guy running against Susan Collins in Maine, who thinks we should, billionaires suck balls, which I agree. Not sure if that's his official statement, but I endorse it. We're going to have, what's the other thing? Bernie Sanders, because we need the old wise sage. Except no more suits, okay? You understand during the revolutionary times, Ben Franklin wore a raccoon hat or a beaver pelt or some shit, and he would go to France and play it off like he was some dumb hick because the French were all aristocratic, and they were like, oh, look at this fucking dude with the beaver skin pelt. And he was really just ripping off Davy Crockett's style, but they didn't know because they didn't have TikTok. And they didn't know Benjamin Franklin was a total fraud. He was like this hoity electrician from Philadelphia. He was like a union electrician from Philadelphia. He had seen Davy Crockett once. He was like, that's the fucking stuff. Yo, that's going to get me some, French lays. And that's what it was like. So now, instead of suits and ties, because like, what does that even say? Ooh, I like to look uncomfortable all day. Jesus. No, Bernie Sanders is going to have a wizard robe and a cool Irish cap. Graham Plattner can wear whatever he wants. And Zoran, he's a dapper looking dude. We'll get him some fresh, like the Zoot Suit Riot. I think that should, Zoot Suit Riot, Wizard Sage for the old guy, and the other guy can just be like comfy, casual Friday every day. Let's go to the comments. Oh, it's a bunch of idiots. There's like people who are like MAGA. I know you guys can't say much, but Jesus, that's the thing. Like Donald Trump is like, these people are stupid. Just make it 4 letters. Anything more, and they can't fucking handle it. They're just like, MAGA, 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 MAGA. MAGA, beta, MAGA, beta. These fucking people are so dumb. Looks like talking to people, gathering support, forming a movement. King of Kings. Fucking nailed it. Sorry, Jesus, I didn't mean to say fucking, but, I'm on earth. What am I going to do? When I get to heaven, you can't say fuck. You got to get it out now. Oh, for those of you who think fuck's not going to get you to heaven, but, supporting Epstein's best friend is, oh, God, when you get to hell, I want you to say hi to Elvis. Paul says he's a hypocrite. Okay. We're living in real life Animal Farm. We are. Hey, what's up, Alma? Good to see you. My username is Poetry Reference, actually. Ozymandias by Percy Shelley. Would recommend. Ooh, King of Kings. You should, well, not only hit subscribe and the notification bell, but yes, I did. I'll put the Discord link. We have a Discord where we actually share it. We have a book club, YouTube recommendations, memes, free therapy, organizing. We have a bunch of stuff in the Discord. So I would highly encourage you to join the Discord. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for subbing. Once we get to 1 million subs, I'm going to officially ask Mr. Beast to quit YouTube. I have to. Once I get to 1 million, I got to put out, I don't want to do this, but it's just, he's unoriginal and I just have to make the video. I got to make the video. I got to say, you built a career on watching other people's music videos and counting, and now you just steal show ideas from Netflix. You got to retire. Okay, take your money and go fucking try not to be lonely for the rest of your life. And get a bank account that your mom doesn't run. Anyways, agree with the sign behind you. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with a lot of this stuff except for the minimum wage thing. It says $20 an hour. And I said, what is this, 1998? No, it should be $66 an hour. And then MAGA gets all butthurt and they're like, you want me to get paid more? I like being a corporate simp and not having a life. I like that I have to work 7 days a week till I die. I hope they put almost employee of the month, employee runner-up of the month on my grave. And I say, fuck that noise. Okay? Hey, do you watch Midas Touch? Sometimes. I watch some more news. I watch Professor Richard Wolf. Coolest last name ever. Unless you have a last name that's Crow. Then it's pretty cool. Or Orca. Anyways, I watch a lot of Hassan. You might know him as Hassanabi. Love Hassan. What else do I watch? There's other stuff, guys. There really is. I promise you. Climate Town. There's a lot of good stuff on you. There's a lot of good creators. Jake is obsessed. He says, I see you're used to sticking things in your mouth. And I would just like to say, stop fetishizing me, Jake. I support your community, but I will not support you hitting on me. No means no, Jake. Okay? I'm sure you've heard that quite often. Hassan is dope. Hassan is fucking awesome. It's inspiring because he's young. He's a young head. I'm an old head. Some call me the old Hassan. Nobody calls me that. One day they will, though. And Hassan, if you're watching, hit subscribe, notification bell. I love you, brother. You and Stavi are some of the funniest shit. Like, that's what Joe Rogan wishes he could be. Joe's now too busy doing state-run podcasting. He's the podcast department of the state. Holy shit. How do you bankrupt a casino? How? King of Kings. I should do the story again. Did you guys ever hear about how old Fred Trump, Don's dad, got caught, busted illegally trying to give loans to his son's company by sending somebody in with a check for like $100,000, $300,000 and taking out chips and never using the chips, just depositing money. And a court found it to be an illegal fraud in the collapsing days, legal loan in the collapsing days of his casino. I'm telling you, I love history. I love history. Commodity Production says $66 is not what minimum wage should be. Who made you the fucking minimum wage czar? I'm not even going to read the rest of your comment. Okay? 66. This is America. Respect my speech. I love when people say it shouldn't be. I say, who likes that? Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos would go, that's my fucking guy. Can you do that to a lot of people all at once? Can you tell them they're not worth that all at once? Just remember that, okay? And you might be a good person. I'm not saying you're a good person, but I'm saying when people start telling me no to them getting a raise, I start to question their integrity, their heart valves. Oh, has he left this mortal coil yet? We're on the long watch, folks. Just so everybody knows. You can't live forever. And once you crack those, double digits, once you get into double digits, here in America, it gets shaky. We're on the long watch. Rogan got more people than any other streamer. Got more people? Daddy did take care of Donald John. He did. Well, Shib, to be honest, 66 is what I say because, oh shit, what was the story? There was some story that calculated like productivity, like all this stuff, right? Because just listen, from 2020 to 2025, our dollar is now worth 75 cents. So if you didn't get a 26% raise, 26%, your spending money is worth 25% less. That's just the greedflation that's happened. Just corporations and Donald Trump assisting them, just making our money worth less. You go to the store, an egg is, who cares what it is, but everything's unaffordable. No, Yucatan, stupid man. Dollar isn't worth $1. Oh, geez. This oh, it's adorable. Some people don't understand that over the course of time, you know, like that's why a car doesn't cost $1 anymore. You know, whatever the T model cost, it doesn't cost that anymore because money changes. Oh, Jesus. Some people are so stupid. There's just, see, I think a lot of people have redemption arcs. A lot of people. So if you're one of those who got duped, I think you have a redemption arc, but there are some people, you know, all the ones that were friends with Epstein don't have a redemption arc. And that's why they're fighting to not release the files. In today's episode of, well, that's suspicious, I needed to show you this because you're going to hear a lot of the next month. September is going to be filled with Epstein stuff. We're trying to release the files, not the PH files, but the regular F files. Donald Trump's trying to release the PH files. And you're going to see these people never. Okay? And what do I like to say? Well, that's suspicious. Just a guy. Well, when 1% of the population owns so much of the country's wealth, the government has to print more money. Well, here's the thing. The government printed money, and who got it? Does anybody know? Go watch Gary's Economics. Link video down below. I know everybody was like, oh, the government's printing money. Or you listen to like CBS News. I did a video on them of thinking like the government printing money caused inflation. If you're worried about money, let me tell you, all the people that got that money had to fucking spend it. I used to make the joke saying, don't tell anybody, but we're retiring with this money. That's $600 a week, that $2,000 paycheck once a year. We're going to all retire. No, people used it on food, rent, groceries, you know, whatever. Even if you bought a TV. My point is that you spent that money. And that went to wealthier people. And wealthy people who have all the money don't spend it. Or when they do, they use it in a massive grift, like the stock market, which runs on vibes. So if you think people becoming trillionaires, if you're worried about wealth and like, ooh, if my neighbor gets a raise, what about me? You should really be worried about the people who have all the fucking money, you know? The billionaires. They have all of it, and guess what? They're not supporting your local business that you love. All the people that love local businesses should really hate billionaires because guess what? They're sitting on that money. They're not spending it at your local fucking Christmas tree shop. You know, they're not going to Spirit Halloween in your town. They're not going to old mom and pa's coffee reservium. It ain't happening. They're hoarding it. And then they spend it on stupid shit, which just, like, they use it to, like, exploit people or union bust, which if they just, like, if you want consumers, the economy is 70% consumer purchasing power. Guess what? The consumers need money. I'm like, what is the end game here? Like, they have such small vision. They're like, we need profits today, and who gives a fuck about tomorrow? It's like, guys, once nobody has money, they can't use your shit. They can't buy your Amazon Primes. Oh, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Michael O, good to see you. Don't yell, King. I'll get you confused with Randy. Oh, King of Kings is in here. I like King of Kings. King of Kings doing some good work. Who gives a fuck about Biden anymore? Exactly. I love it. They can't, You know, and every projection, every accusation is just a admission. You know, they were obsessed with Biden when he was president. Now he's not president. They don't want to talk about the files anymore. What about Biden? It's like, guys, give it a rest, okay? You elected Trump, not my president, and now we want him to release the files, and he's calling it a hostile act of war. What the fuck is this? Guys, what is this? Wait, where is it? He's calling it a hostile act. Why would releasing the Epstein files be a hostile act? What is in these files? If you want to do one thing that makes people want more, say it's a hostile act to release them. You ever had kids that wanted candy and you're like, if you try to get this candy, I'm hiding it over here, you try to get that, you're going to be grounded. What do? They don't think about grounded. They go right for the candy. They're like, I'll take the grounded. Is the candy delicious? Yep, minimum rename, modern slavery rename minimum wage, 100%. DOK Sim Racing, appreciate you. All right, guys, that was today's episode of, well, that's suspicious. I thought he was the guy that was going to release the files that he said on Fox News. I thought Dan Oingo Boingo, Dan Vagina, and Cash Money Patel were like, we're going to get in there and release them. They have them right now, and they're not doing it. And now everyone's like, hey, that's a hostile act of war if you do that. You know, folks, question, when they warn you about the radical left who wants you to have a raise, free health care, paid for by billionaires' taxes, when they want you to have paid vacation, guaranteed, I want, even MAGA, I want you to have guaranteed paid vacation. If you have a kid, I want you to have 2 years guaranteed parental leave, 60% of your salary like they do in Sweden. I want that for you, even though you want, I don't know, to send me to Venezuela or some shit. I don't know. Like, what is your plan for America? But my plan is like, you never have to call Uber instead of an ambulance. You never have to worry about, if you want higher education, I know some of you don't, but you know, your kids could. God bless those people. Like, that's what I want for you. I want that for you. I truly do. I think it would make our country fucking cool again. Unions for all, yes, 100%. But you know, question. When they warn you about the radical left who wants you to have a raise, guaranteed vacation, never earn sick time, not have to worry about medical debt like the rest of the world, but they don't warn you about the Epstein files and the people in them, and they tell you it's a hostile act if you want to expose those predators, you might be a dumb fuck, as Jeff Foxworthy used to say. Don't blame me. I'm just quoting the Foxworthy. Might be a bad quote, but Unimatrix says, education funded by the government. Make this make sense. Well, we need to make it better. It's just like when I say the government should run healthcare. People go, oh, you want the government to run healthcare? And they say it like, you know, like an Eli Manning mouth breather fucking moron. And I go, well, do you know about the VA, the veterans hospitals, and how the government runs that? You know, and when they're not defunding it, it's pretty stellar. Yeah, the government should run it just like the fucking VA. Like, they already do a government-run healthcare. We just do it for all the people. So your idiocracy knows no limits. You know, you can't expect stupid to fucking be contained. I think people should know things. My taxes should pay for people to know things. King of Kings, me too. I don't want my taxes to go to bombs and F-16 flyovers when the Epstein victims are trying to speak, or the Epstein survivors. My apology, my language is important there. The survivors are speaking, and I don't want my tax dollars flying over distracting from them. I want my tax dollars to educate these morons in the chat. Well, I have family that works for the VA, and they do a lot of great work. They do. And here's the thing, for all of you who think America was poured in a concrete foundation, this is what I always like to say. When we formed America, we took ideas from everywhere else because there was nothing done like it. So my advice to all these people who have limited brain cells and zero creativity is that we go, what is Sweden doing? Denmark doing? What is the UK doing? What are all these countries doing that are always the happiest in the world? All these Scandinavian countries that are happiest in the world. There's no law that says you can't bite their style. If there was, Mr. Beast would have no career because all he does is steal other people's ideas. So we Mr. Beast America and we go, okay, what works in these other countries? How are their governments running their healthcare? What has failed them and what should we correct? And then we implement it. I know that's like crazy and that like makes all your comments moot, but that's like how you do shit. You know, Mr. Beast made a fucking career off going, what's that person doing? Okay, I'll do that. That's his career, guys. He doesn't do anything original. I hate to break it to you. And America should do that with healthcare. There you go. Problem solved. All you naysayers, stop it being so negative, you guys. Stop thinking 65,000 Americans should die every year because your lack of creativity. That's really what I hear. When you go, oh, you want to run it like that? Yeah. You know what I hear? You're okay with 65,000 Americans dying because the medical system sucks in America. I'd rather get creative, and that wasn't even that hard. I just said, what are they doing? Let's make it better. I know. Some of you, really want to. No, Aaron, I won't debate you. Why don't you go have your own live stream? That's what you should do. Go have your own live stream where you're like, guys, we should just let AI decide. No more doctors. Here's your debate, Aaron. No more doctors. You're going to go see an AI chatbot that Amazon approved for you. There you go. There's your debate. I don't give a shit. Go have your ideas on your YouTube channel with your troll account. Hold on. Oh, it was a deep fake. I put on my deep fake glasses, guys. It's a deep fake. They keep getting me. I don't know how they keep getting me. To be fair, I hear this too, Mike X. To be fair, you can't copy other countries exactly due to how different our economies are. Yeah, because we're like absolute end times capitalism. But usually people say because of the population. And I say, don't limit my creativity. I say, oh, we'll do it and we'll do it better. So that's what I say to that. But thank you. I agree with you agreeing with me. I think I have those glasses. No. Seriously. I like that name. That's cool. You definitely don't have these. I found these. And then they turned out to be deepfake inspectigators. So nobody has them. One of a kind. I'm sorry, but only I can identify the deepfakes. Wall Street Viking, are you a commie? I'm a socialist, my friend. Do I scare you? Oh, Donald Trump's a commie. He's using your taxpayer money to own Intel. So go use that fear-mongering elsewhere. Oh, here we go. We got somebody who hates Jesus's message. Jeffrey, okay, wrongly. Oh, perfect last name. Your mom hit that one on the fucking head, naming you okay, wrongly. Because your comments are okay, wrongly. I think that my neighbor is responsible for their own health. Okay, when your house catches on fire, please tell the fire department you're responsible for that fire. It's just so stupid. It's the worst part. The people who are like, I don't want to live in a society. Jesus, can't people just be... I forgot. Mr. OK Wrongly paved the roads he drove to work, put in all the stop signs himself, conducted the traffic, put in the pipes to his fucking sink so he can take a shower in the sink. I forgot OK Wrongly. Everyone should be rugged individualists. What are you, Joe Rogan? Hold on. Oh, god damn, they got me again. It's the deep fakes, folks. I should have known with a name like OK Wrongly, he was a deep fake. He hates Jesus. Of course a deep fake AI would hate Jesus. Jesus told you to love your neighbor, care about your neighbors. Love God and your neighbor. Who's your neighbor? Everyone. Of course an AI deep fake named Wrongly would hate my Lord and Savior. I'll fight you, demon AI. I'll fight you on the spiritual plane. I summon the powers of Doctor Strange to meet you in the glass world. All right, guys. Well, don't forget, Donald Trump's in the Epstein files. Release the files, all you MAGAs. I hope you stop supporting these predators. But until then, King of Kings, Timothy, Alma, Crash, I'm sorry about today. Crash, I'm sorry about today. Much love to all of you, even the people who support these predators. As long as you're not the predator, I still want you to get it would be amazing. These people who are so ruthlessly lack of any kind of empathy. If your lives are a little better, if you had some friends, you might be like, oh, you know what? Caring about people is kind of cool, like this friend thing. But I can tell some of you don't, and I hope you get friends. So much love. Have a beautiful day. Release the files. Thank you, Mike X. Release the files and not the PH files, Donald. I think he got confused and he let Ghislaine go to that camp. No, the F files. Release the Epstein files with an F, okay? He keeps getting confused. We got to fucking spell it out for these people. They're so dumb. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Much love. P